Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. According to historical records, on the day of Empress Ma's burial in 1382, the sky suddenly became overcast, and torrential rain poured down. Ming Taizu Zhu Yuanzhang stood in the rain, his face growing darker and darker. He considered the downpour a bad omen. And in a sudden rage, he shouted, "If this rain doesn't stop, then all of you shall be buried with her." In an instant, all the civil and military officials present turned pale with fear, not daring to utter a sound. At that tense moment, a monk stepped forward, smiling as he walked up to Zhu Yuanzhang, and said a single sentence. That instantly dispelled the emperor's anger, replacing it with a gentle smile. According to historians, Zhu Yuanzhang, the founding emperor of the Ming dynasty, came from a poor background and often went hungry in his youth. At one point, he even became a monk. However, through unwavering determination and extraordinary intelligence, he rose from a commoner to become emperor. On this difficult path to power, one person silently supported him all the way. Empress Ma, his first wife. She was intelligent, kind, gentle, and strong, the person Zhu Yuanzhang trusted the most. Historical records show that, in his younger years, Zhu Yuanzhang joined the rebel forces of Guo. Because of Zhu's outstanding performance, Guo greatly appreciated him, which in turn sparked jealousy in Guo's son. They secretly plotted against Zhu and falsely accused him of harboring treacherous intentions. Though Guo was fond of Zhu Yuanzhang, the accusation was too serious to ignore. He had Zhu imprisoned and even ordered that no one was to bring him food, intending to let him die in confinement. When Empress Ma heard of this, she was distraught. To keep her husband alive, she baked some flatbread late at night, and planned to secretly bring it to him. But on the way, she ran into Guo wife. Empress Ma had no choice but to hide the hot bread against her chest. While making casual conversation, Madame Guo suddenly noticed that Empress Ma was in visible pain. Upon checking, she discovered that the hot bread had burned Ma's chest. But Empress Ma paid no mind to her injury. She only begged Madame Guo to let her deliver the bread to Zhu Yuanzhang. Her deep love and selflessness moved Madame Guo, and has continued to move countless others ever since. As time went on, Zhu Yuanzhang steadily gained power, eventually setting off on the path to unify the realm. Throughout it all, Empress Ma remained by his side as his most steadfast support. No matter how great the challenges Zhu faced, she always offered the calmest, most heartfelt advice with wisdom and clarity. When Zhu Yuanzhang finally ascended the throne and founded the Ming dynasty, Empress Ma continued to live by the principles of virtue and compassion. She often reminded him, "Now that you are the son of heaven, the people are your children. You must care for them." Her words influenced Zhu Yuanzhang deeply, prompting him to govern with more concern for the people and with benevolence. However, happy days are always too short. Years of tireless work took a toll on Empress Ma's health, which steadily deteriorated. Zhu Yuanzhang was extremely anxious and stayed by her side, personally tending to her and seeking out famous physicians. When her condition worsened, she firmly refused further treatment. She knew that if anything went wrong, Zhu Yuanzhang would not spare the doctors, not wanting innocent people to suffer because of her. She chose to give up treatment. That decision, so rational yet so heartbreaking, spoke volumes of her character. In the end, Empress Ma passed away peacefully, and Zhu Yuanzhang was overcome with grief. It was as if he had lost the most vital support in his entire life. To honor her memory and express his sorrow, Zhu Yuanzhang ordered a grand state funeral and declared a national mourning period of 3 days. Yet on the day of the burial, the sky darkened suddenly, and heavy rain began to fall. Zhu Yuanzhang grew increasingly uneasy, feeling that the unexpected storm was a dire omen. Perhaps a sign of unrest or hidden threats. Overwhelmed by grief and rage, he furiously threatened that if the rain didn't stop, everyone would be buried along with her, terrifying all those present. Just as tension reached its peak, an elderly monk slowly stepped forward. Calm and composed, he smiled gently and said, "The rain falls because heaven weeps for the Empress. The thunder roars because the earth mourns her loss. Even the Buddhas from the West have come to bid farewell to Marulai." These poetic words stunned Zhu Yuanzhang. His seething anger instantly vanished, replaced by a thoughtful silence, awakened by the monk's poignant wisdom. After hearing the monk's words, Zhu Yuanzhang let out a long sigh. He finally understood that the downpour was, in fact, the heavens' way of bidding farewell to the Empress. That both the sky and the earth were mourning her departure. His heart gradually shifted from anger to comfort and gratitude. Apart from this event, there was another story that also revealed the depth of Zhu Yuanzhang's love for Empress Ma. According to the Ming history annals of Crown Prince Yuan, during a fierce battle between Zhu Yuanzhang and his powerful rival Chen Yuliang, Zhu was seriously wounded and unable to escape on his own. The situation was dire, but Empress Ma did not hesitate. She personally carried him on her back, leading the soldiers to break through the enemy lines and saving her husband's life. At the time, their son Zhu Biao was also present. He witnessed firsthand how his mother risked her life without a second thought to save his father. The scene moved him deeply. Later, he even drew a picture of that touching moment and kept it with great care. Years later, Zhu Biao had a political disagreement with his father, which created tension between them. Zhu Yuanzhang, consumed with rage, ignored imperial etiquette and furiously rose to chase Zhu Biao down in anger. Zhu Biao dared not resist and fled for his life. The father and son chased and ran. The scene was chaotic and intense. As Zhu Biao ran, he thought, "This can't go on. I need to find a way to calm father down." By chance, his hand touched the drawing he always carried, the one depicting his mother carrying his father to safety. A quick idea came to him. He pretended to drop the picture accidentally. When Zhu Yuanzhang caught up, his eyes fell upon the painting. He bent down to pick it up and saw that it was the scene from years ago, Empress Ma carrying him on her back, fleeing through danger. In an instant, memories overwhelmed him. His eyes welled up with tears that streamed down uncontrollably. All the anger that had been building inside him vanished in front of that image. Zhu Yuanzhang sat down and stared at the painting for a long time, reflecting on his earlier outburst and loss of control. At that moment, he felt the selflessness of his wife and the thoughtfulness of his son. The days they had once endured together replayed vividly in his mind. In the end, he abandoned the idea of punishing Zhu Biao, and the rift between father and son began to heal. It's worth mentioning that Empress Ma and Zhu Yuanzhang had 5 sons in total. The youngest, Zhu Su, was mischievous by nature and was later titled Prince of Zhou, stationed in Kaifeng. Worried that his youth and unruliness would make him difficult to discipline, Empress Ma sent her trusted confidant, Consort Jiang, to accompany him. She also gave Consort Jiang an old, worn robe of her own and a wooden staff, instructing her, if he misbehaves, wear this robe and beat him with the staff. If he refuses to obey, report it to the court immediately. From then on, every time Zhu Su saw the old robe, he would recall his mother's stern yet loving warning and dare not act recklessly. Empress Ma's philosophy of parenting was strictness with love, firm principles, but never without warmth. Moreover, Empress Ma lived an extremely frugal life and led by example. She would wash and rewash her clothes until they were threadbare before ever replacing them. Upon hearing that Empress Chabi, wife of Yuan Emperor Kublai Khan, personally wove fabric, she was greatly inspired. She had a loom set up in the palace and wove silk herself. These handmade materials were sewn into clothes and bedding, which she sent to elderly widows and the destitute, a gesture known as royal compassion. The remaining fabric was given to princesses and noble ladies. Along with this teaching, you have lived in luxury since birth. So you should all the more learn to cherish every inch of cloth. According to historians, Empress Ma's life was regarded as a rare example of purity in the Ming dynasty harem. She did not rely on power or flaunt her position. Instead, she led by example through her actions. She neither vied for favor nor sought attention, yet managed to keep the imperial harem peaceful and orderly. With wisdom, compassion, and thrift, she embodied every virtue expected of a virtuous empress. Zhu Yuanzhang always held deep respect and gratitude toward her. Her death was one of the most devastating losses of his life. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.